I know these people. I went on there and voted for myself 70,000 times, right?
One email per we
vote.
only use one email.
Yes.
So you can do it 10 times, but that one from that one email.
That one from okay, so get multiple emails. I'm just trying to help. No, it's super informal. I might like put this at the front of the podcast too, just like kind of letting y'all know what's going on. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Backpack Jeff, where we connect with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today, y'all see me, I'm not in my regular chair today. I'm in a little fancy rolling office chair because I got two guests today, right? We doing double the trouble. I got the founders of the DMV Renaissance Awards. If y'all don't know what that is, y'all gonna learn about it today. Welcome, please, Miss Grada Love and Miss Crystal Lynn. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Both of y'all came with the buns. What was that? That was
not even.
It's
just kinetic energy.
Okay. Kinetic energy. I got it.
It's a little rainy today, so
so this is what we do when the rain happens.
Yes.
I should have did my bun. Damn.
You should have just put a little.
I should have done my bun.
We all could have been bunned.
We all could have been bunned up. Oh, it's cuffing season coming up. We all gonna be bunned up. That's a poetry.
That
right
is.
there. I'm gonna put that in the poem. I got it.
Bunned up, cuffing season.
So tell us first individually, and let's start with Grada. Grada, who is Grada Love? Tell us Grada's story.
Okay. So, I'm sorry if that smack was loud, but Grada. Wow. So the name came from like 10th grade, like walking to school from the bus stop. I literally saw the money truck, the Grada truck. And then I was an accounting major back then. So I was like, oh, money and love. And so I switched around the R and A and made Grada. So Grada Love.
The R and the A.
And Garda. You know the money truck that drops off? The Garda world now. Now it's Grada. And so it means something in other languages.
You ever told this origin story? I don't think I've ever known why you call. I always Grada like Prada.
Right.
That's what I've always known.
Right. I mean, I rarely tell it because it was so far back, and then it was like, I don't know. I think I was trying to get so aesthetic-y with the brand. Like I was like, it's my womanhood journey. It's this, it's that. And I'm like, the reality is I was walking to school in the rain and I saw the truck and I was like, So I changed my Twitter, my Instagram, all that to Grada Love. And then fast forward to college, everybody's calling me Grada. I performed here or there. And when I started performing, it just didn't sound right. Like Chantel coming up, I was like, come on now. I'm grown. Like, it didn't have a certain energy to it. So then I just started going by Grada. Okay. And the first time somebody called me up saying Grada, and I was like, that's it.
That's it. That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, what about you, Miss Crystal?
The story. Okay.
Yeah.
Crystal Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
So, Crystal is my name. Yep. Lynn is my middle name.
Okay.
And when I was little, my aunt would call me Crystal Lynn. So it kind of like stuck.
Were you in trouble? Because your parents only do that.
No. Okay. I was never in trouble. That's just what she would call.
That's real.
That's just what she would say when she would come over and come see me.
Yeah.
So when I got into acting.
Okay.
When the creator of the web series I was in asked us, what do you all want to be called? What's your name or whatever? Mm-hmm. And I was just going to use my name. But then it was like, no, I'm going to use this name.
Yeah.
And it just stuck.
Okay.
So that's the origin of Crystal Lynn.
Okay.
Writing journey. I've been writing short stories and poems and things like that since like childhood. Mm-hmm. Like I would take my stuffed animals and line them up in my room. This is before YouTube. I'm kind of showing my age right now. I would take my stuffed animals and my Barbies and line them up in my room, and I would like write talk shows.
Really?
And I was the talk show host, and I would make all of the characters. I would change my voice. where I was from. I would have all these topics. I would write down the questions. I would be the audience. I was everybody, one person. And I would make my father buy blank cassette tapes.
So you can record.
Record myself. And he knew I was doing this.
Do you remember any of the characters' names?
Oh my God. No, I don't.
Okay. I was about to say, was any of them ratchet?
I did have some ratchet stuff.
You had some ratchet.
That's important.
I had ratchet stuff.
It's for the
what
culture.
I used to do. Okay, so this may be a little disturbing, but I'm a
Lord.
Exclusive.
So
in our bag. We good.
You know, Barbie had like own Barbie World, Barbie Dream House, all that. So I had Barbie limo. My great grandmother was a seamstress. Yes, my great grandmother was a seamstress. So I would ask her, "Can you make my Barbie clothes?" So she had made some clothes for my Barbies. Dead ass. She had made some clothes for my Barbie, and she had made like this fur coat.
Oh,
but I had put the fur coat on my Ken doll.
It's given.
And put him and some Barbies in a limo. And I would make them streetwalkers.
I didn't say, you know what's going on. The limo fur coat. I'm here for it. I love stories like that.
Hey, that is... I love it, first and foremost. I absolutely love that. That's hilarious.
So, yeah, I was always a creator.
Okay.
However, I became a parent very early in life. And you have to work.
Yeah.
You have to make money. You have to provide for your child now. So all of that stuff I wasn't doing anymore. I wasn't writing anymore. I wasn't creating anymore. It was just work. And then as my kids got older, it was, I don't really have to do, I can do both. I have to get back to being creative.
Right.
So I wrote a poem, and I asked myself, okay, what are you going to do with this poem? Who's going to know that you wrote this poem? What do you need to do? Where do you need to go? So I looked up open mics. The first open mic I went to was New Deal Cafe in Old Greenboat. I went on the wrong night. It was open mic for musicians. But I told the host, I said, I'm doing a poem. Is that okay? She said, yeah, that's fine. You can go ahead and do your poem. It's okay. I did my poem. I was scared to death. Oh, my God. Those lights were hot. I was sweating. I felt my stomach turning. I wanted to pass out. I was like, oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord. But I did my poem. I got applause. People loved it. And I sat back down at the table and I said, okay, God, if this is meant to be, give me a sign. If it's not, I'm not going to do it no more. When I sat down, the bartender came from behind the bar. She came to me and she said, that poem was beautiful. You need to stick with it. But come on Saturday, because that's poetry open mic. And you're going to meet a lot of poets, and they're going to put you in the right direction. They're going to help you.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, that must be my sign then.
That was your sign right there. I love it. I love hearing origin stories and just... So, Grada, you didn't really elaborate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't.
So tell us, let's go a little deeper into why you got into writing and then what keeps you into writing now. Right, and then before she
that
goes,
part.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna give you some time to think. Grada has one of the most memorable lines in poetry history, y'all. Okay?
What's that?
She has one of the. She don't even know it. She can't even remember. It's so memorable. Keep coming back. It works if you do. That is a line that if you come to the DMV, you have heard somebody say that as a host. Keep coming back. It works if you do, especially if you're a new artist, especially if you're a new poet.
Yes.
That line has literally resonated and traveled, and we always quote you when we do it. That line is so special. So keep coming back. It works if you do, regardless of what it is, right? It's not just poetry. It's entrepreneurship. It's endeavors. It's different things that you're trying. All you got to do is keep coming back, and it'll work if you do. We're gonna
what an intro!
Cut that clip right there. Cut that clip right there, y'all.
That was spiritual.
That one right there. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Wow. Thank you for that. I have to tell the story about that. Okay, before I go into my origin story, I want to quickly say where the inspiration for that poem even came from. Okay. So growing up, I would always go to the AA meetings with my grandma, and I don't know if people like know what they say, but they say keep coming back. It works if you work it. So the program, the 12-step program. Right. And so I always credit my grandma because I would go to these meetings and they would pray together at the end, and like just seeing people show up for themselves in that way, I didn't realize how much it was like deeply like resonating in me. Right. Because we would go to poetry and it became like our own little therapy circle, like talking about, man, this week was crazy, but I got this poem. And so like I felt like we had our own version of it. Like we just got to write, like we got to keep showing up for this or else we're not going to be good. And so I think them showing up for themselves in AA was equivalent to us almost. And so that line came from there, and I didn't even realize it till after I wrote it.
Really? And
then I overheard my grandma in a meeting. I was like, oh, that must be like unconsciously where it came from. Yeah. So yeah.
Fire. I like that.
Shout out to grandma.
Shout out to grandma.
But yeah, I started when I was like 6. My sister brought home this poem from high school. She was doing calligraphy, and it was like a very basic poem, like "You're my best friend till the end. If you have a broken heart that needs a mend," like all types of stuff like that. And I just reread it over and over obsessively, like crazy. And like in middle school, 8th grade, I had this teacher, Mr. Salam, shout out to you, because I sent him a Facebook message to let him know he's the reason. But he had us analyzing rap lyrics like Tupac and Slick Rick and storytelling and challenging us to do it too. And so I got up in front of the class, and it took a while before I got up in front of everyone to share. Right. But I remember I always quote Nicole, because Nicole, like, after I did my poem, was like, "Chantel, you always got this whack-ass rhyme scheme." And I was like, so you just going. And so I realized I could have stopped then, but I couldn't. Fast forward to high school, it came up again. Poetry club, poetry slams. I remember I went to Busboys on 14th Street with my parents. At 16, it was like the 11th hour slam.
I remember those.
Lord. And
Friday night.
Man, yeah. And Too Deep used to be in there. And so I had my little journal.
Real OG in the game.
Man.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Tootie was really an OG. Like, she was there when I started at 16, and that was 12 years ago.
Wow.
And so I'm doing my poem because I'm like, okay, I got this poetry slam at school. I got to prepare. My parents done brought me. And I get up there, and I'm like, y'all, this is my first time performing like this. And so she screamed virgin. And I credit that in the beginning of my book because I'm like, shout out to the woman who screamed virgin. And I'm like, how does she know? And I'm like asking my parents, like, what is going on? And so later on I realized this was my first time to the mic. I was popping my poetry cherry. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was so scared. And then I went to college, graduated, didn't do poetry. Found myself crying in the closet, depressed, hating my job. I was like, why am I here? This feels like redundant. Why do people work 9 to 5s when like there's more, there's something? And it was just missing in my life. And then I was praying and I'm crying and I'm like, God, what in the world am I doing here in Salisbury of all places? And so I look up and I see all these journals in my closet, and I'm like, oh, you've been writing all along. I keep all my journals. Right. And so when I came back to the DMV in 2017, I got a job back home. I just hit the ground running. TK gave me my first feature. It was the beginning of 2018, February. And I was preparing for it. And I was like going to open mics, and I had a life coach at the time, like just announcing myself as a spoken word poet. Right. And then after that first feature, it's like opportunity after opportunity came, and I just kept showing up. I kept coming back, and it really does work if you do. Because now look at us.
I love it. So poetry has kind of transcended you all into like this new vision of the DMV Renaissance Awards, right? Yeah. And I think where we should start is just why. Why create the DMV Renaissance Award?
Why create it?
Why?
Why not?
Okay,
but yeah. You want to start it?
Okay. Why create the DMV Renaissance? So being in the poetry industry, being around artists, and going to these open mics, and these open mics can be like late night, all night. And a lot of us still work full time and have to get up early in the morning and still do your job, still take care of your kids, still run your household. And seeing this in action, people curate events, host events, showcases, feature, perform, sing, rap, people creating shows, acting, painting, photography, DJing. How can you... That's like a renaissance in itself, to be around this and just to see everyone doing things that they love while still doing things that they have to do.
Right.
So it needs to be recognized and it needs to be celebrated.
Okay. Okay.
And I love that you said that, like doing the things they have to do and what they want to do, because I think it's just important to realize that part of ourselves. It's an act of self-love, I think, to show up for yourself in that way. Because it's easy to do the 9 to 5 and go home and not be creative, but the harder part is showing up when you don't want to.
Yeah.
Right.
When you don't even have enough energy to. So, yeah, we were at Pure one day, and one of our co-founders is Christina Gray. She's not with us anymore, but she said we should do an award show, or we should like give these poets an awards. They're so dope. Right. And I was like, yeah. And I had been talking to Kathy, if y'all know Kathy, like a few months prior, and I was like, we should do like a little, like I was literally thinking on a small scale, nothing like what we have now. And I'm like, we should do a little like award ceremony, like what's the superlatives? Okay. And I was thinking something along those lines. And so when we all put our heads together, we were going through it. And then I had this painting that I did on my 25th birthday for like all of the people who were in my Renaissance. You're on there. And so it's just like beautiful. The people who contributed to my journey, everybody's DMV Renaissance looks different. So I titled the painting DMV Renaissance. And then when it came to picking a title, I was just like, yeah, let's use that, because that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the reality of us. We're all a Renaissance.
I like that. I really like that. And I'm 100% in agreement with you all that that the poets and the artists and the creatives need to be celebrated, and they should be celebrated for their work, and the work that they're putting there, and the work that they're continuing to put in, because a lot of times it's not celebrated enough. And I know one of the things as an artist and as a creative, we don't celebrate ourselves enough.
Exactly.
So it feels good to be appreciated from like a collective, right? And then it also gives you something to work for, because I've got a couple of people in my group, in my Winter Circle group, and a couple of their goals are to be nominated as a DMV Renaissance.
What?
I'm not gonna
count. Like people got like annual goals of like, yo, I want to be nominated for the DMV Renaissance. I want to win a DMV Renaissance Award. Like, for real, that's like, I'm not lying to y'all. On Saturdays we meet, and that's exactly what they want to do. They want to be nominated, because you all have created a culture of celebration, and people want to be celebrated. So kudos to you all for doing that. Can
I add something?
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, that's our mission, to celebrate local poets.
Yes.
And artists now, because we've expanded the categories.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to like say how important it is to be celebrated at home, where you're from, because a lot of people, for example, I'm not gonna say who, but people go to Atlanta, LA, all these other cities, Philly, and get celebrated and loved on. Like, even people come here and they get celebrated and loved on. From Philly, from LA, and it's like, oh, I'm from so and so, and then it comes with an esteem, but it's also like, why can't you get celebrated right where you are?
Absolutely.
You're doing all the work right here, and these people have watched you go from A to Z, 0 to 10.
Yeah.
So why not get celebrated at home?
Absolutely, and you deserve that. So you mentioned like you guys are expanding the categories. What are the categories now for the DMV Renaissance, and is there a podcast category for the DMV Renaissance? Because I feel like
you know
what I'm saying. I feel like that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and talk. What are all of the categories? Because I've been wanting to say this to y'all for a minute, and now it's on camera, so they can't forget it. So what are the categories?
I can do the added categories.
Yeah.
So the new categories that have been added Comedian.
Okay.
Photographer.
Okay.
We have musician.
Yep.
Musician.
Best new poet.
Oh yes,
That's
best
new.
new poet. That's new.
Okay.
What else?
Visual artist.
Visual artist.
What's
Photographer.
visual artist? Oh, painter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. When you know how we would go to open mic
Yeah,
and they would have a visual artist there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And
That's-
photographer, because you
yeah,
can't forget
photographer.
people like 80 Shots and HTA Photography, who did the 2022 DMV Renaissance
Absolutely.
Awards.
And then I know you guys have like best male poet, best female poet, best OG,
Yes.
best haikuist.
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't there a book one too?
Author.
Author. Yes, author.
What were some of the other ones? There was the
Erotic poet.
erotic poet,
Slam champion.
a
Slam champion.
And wasn't there like an entertainer of the year or something like that?
Yes.
Most entertaining
Most
poet.
Entertaining
poet.
poet.
Yes, absolutely. A couple of different categories. How do people get nominated for a category? How do you get nominated?
Good question.
Okay. How do you get nominated? So our process of nomination?
Absolutely.
Okay,
So like when the awards come up for next year, what's the if I want to get nominated for best podcast, how would I do that?
Okay, so this is what people.
This is just
Poetry
hypothetical.
platform. That's the
Oh,
one
that
we
is new
created.
too.
Poetry
And
podcast.
Yes, that's
one
what
of
it
our
is.
For the,
nominations.
open mics. Yeah,
Yeah.
got you.
But also, one of our nominees was a podcast platform. Like, well, they also do artist spotlights, but also podcasting. So
Got you.
it's not limited. Like, Poet Life would be a poetry
Yeah,
platform.
'cause-
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you know,
Mhm.
stuff
Fire.
like that.
I like that.
And you know he does mostly podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, my bad.
So what's the nomination process? Take out y'all pens, right? Get y'all pens and y'all notebooks ready so that y'all can know going into 2023 what you got to do in order to get nominated. I'm trying to help y'all out, yo.
So here's what we've seen. When we announce nominations are open, the artist will be, oh, nomination open. Vote for me for your best. Woo-doo-doo-doo. Vote for me. Do this. Woo-doo-doo. So when we would go in and see, it would be like, oh, okay. So people really, okay, they're voting. And all right, this is the numbers. And then we'll put out like top 4. And then from the top 4, that's when people will vote for their best. Yeah.
Okay, got you. So I think I may have missed it. So before people go in and vote, like how do you get your name into that ballot? Like you just gotta like nominate, like you gotta go on the website and just like I want to nominate this person. I want to nominate this person.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And it's the
Yes.
same with like voting, like the highest number. So
Right.
if the most nominations come through for like your podcast, then you would then become a nominee in that category.
Got you.
And so
Okay.
it goes like that, like top to bottom.
Got you. Okay, got it. I like it.
And also, we do have to do damage control because y'all be nominating anybody for any category. They don't even do music, but what they doing in the musician category?
We do have to do that.
damage control like
Yes.
that. But yeah,
So with that, right? What's the most challenging part of the DMV? The faces that
Lord,
we
I'm about
here, right?
I couldn't even see Crystal's face, but I can only imagine.
What are the challenges of the DMV Renaissance? Like, what are some of the things? Because doing something like this is not easy.
Oh, no.
It's not easy at
No,
all.
it's not.
There's egos involved, there's feelings and emotions and all of these things involved. Oh my gosh, I didn't get nominated. Oh my gosh, they counted wrong. I know these people. I went on there and voted for myself 70,000 times, right?
One email per we
vote.
only use one email.
Yes.
So
just
you
to
can do
make-
it 10 times,
Yeah.
but that one from that one email.
That one for okay, so get multiple emails. I'm just trying to help y'all out.
We ain't gonna know which one is who, but like
don't know.
it's a different email.
We're not gonna know.
It's like, no.
Man, I'm about to get 17 emails that's at password@gmail.com.
Exactly.
At password with a capital A@gmail.com. Password with a capital first S.
Lord, Lord, you gonna have these people put up with all types of emails. Baby girl 72. Okay.
73, 74, 75.
Right.
So, but what's the biggest challenge in doing something like this?
Ooh, I'm gonna say the planning. Like
Okay.
this year, 2022 was our first in person. Last year it was virtual, it wasn't necessarily easier, but it was a smaller amount of people to like make sure they were okay.
Yeah. Right.
We had a program and everything kind of went a little more seamlessly. I think with planning an in-person show, you have to worry about the guests, you have to worry about food, drinks, the venue, the volunteers. And so we learned so much. So I'm learning, like, as you go, you just learn and get better. And trying to just have that patience and grace. I think another difficult part is capacity. Because there's so much, like, and Crystal will be at work and I'll be texting her like, I want to do this, and like, even we have a podcast coming, so like that process, Crystal was like, hold on, let's look at what, and like I'll just be like, we can do this and this and this, and it's like, but it's one two, like we're working on building a team, making it make sense, and Crystal really helps ground me. I'm a Cancer, Pisces moon, so I'm a float on the water. Right, Crystal be like, come on now. Let's figure out what we really can do. So,
I'll be like, Grada, what is first priority? Okay? We need to focus on this now. Right. Because this is what we're doing, and we can get to that later.
Right. But keep those things.
Yes.
Keep them journals. Right.
But right now, this is top priority.
Yeah. Right.
Let's just focus on this.
That, though.
I love it. So what's one of the biggest challenges in the DMV? Because I think it's important for people to know, number one, there's probably some challenges that they thought of that they were going to have going into it. And then when you got into it, there's probably challenges that you face right now that you had no idea that this would even be a challenge. So what's something that is challenging in this process?
So starting, I could say, when we started, it was like during pandemic. And at first I didn't think that we were going to get the support that we needed. But then I was surprised because we ended up getting so much support from the community, and just people coming up to us and just saying, hey, I like what you're doing, and just let me know what can we do. After the award show, we've had people do that. One of our winners, actually, her parents came to us after the show and was like, we had so much fun here. This was incredible. Please let us know what you need from us, because we definitely want to be a part of this next year.
Wow.
That was surprising. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know. Yeah. That was surprising. Just to see the community, the support, and the love that we were getting. So that was something that shocked me.
Yeah, I would say managing the help that wants to come through. Like, because we both work 9 to 5s or whatever hours, but like we both work a full-time job. So I think managing like where people can assist, how we can collaborate. Like, it was surprising. We didn't have food really planned, but we had drinks. And then my dad was like, how you gonna have drinks and no food? My dad's a chef. He pulled up with the charcuterie board. My girlfriend bought the edible arrangements, and I'm just like, people are just. My best friend became a volunteer the day of.
So now, so with that being said, right? Let me ask you this: what is it that you all need help with from the community to make this bigger? Because I imagine, right, you want to keep doing bigger,
of course,
bigger and bigger. And I want to get to the overall vision of it in a second. But what is it that you need help with from the community that we can help you all with?
Donations would be nice.
Okay.
You know?
Absolutely. Hey, listen, you got to pay to play, baby.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't free.
It's not, because when we reach out to venues, they asking for money.
Oh, yeah.
They asking for real money.
Yes, they are.
I would say a street team. That has been like back of mind, like people who can go advocate, because we can't be at every open mic. We can't meet every new poet. We can't, like, that's just the realistic capacity for 2 people who have all these other things going on in life. And so I would say a street team, just more awareness, more visibility, more connecting, and just figuring out how we can help each other. I think we figured out partnerships for the 2022 award show. Like, how do you benefit and how do we benefit? How do we make it mutually beneficial for both people? Like, partnerships. We call them sponsorships, but it became visibility for other people's businesses, like Phenomenon Cocktails.
Yeah.
Made sure, how do you get paid and we also get this service without having to go into our pockets?
Right.
So we figured that out. Like, just making it mutually beneficial and partnering. How can we partner? People come to us. We're doing a community service event on the 18th.
Yes, we are.
People just come to us wanting to partner, and we have to sit with it, but just let us know how we can partner, how it makes sense for both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So partnerships and sponsors, right? So people can sponsor. What are the levels of sponsors, and then like how are you guys going about? Because I have a couple of ideas for different sponsors, but then this will also kind of lead into what I was talking to Crystal about when she first came, is getting that nonprofit status, right?
Oh yeah, we've been talking about that.
Super huge, super important, and I think that going into 2023, that should definitely be something that's like first, and like on you guys' priority list, only because is there like a month annually for the award show? Is there like
September?
Okay, got you. But yeah, definitely during that time, being able to get those big donations,
the grants.
Listen, right? Them grants,
because grants don't go to for profit too often.
Yeah, and almost never. Especially with what y'all are doing, yo.
Yeah, it would be easy, and I know that now.
Right?
And learn on your way, guys.
Learn on your way. Absolutely, it would be so like doing like I don't know if you guys know the Silver Spring, the Civic Center, right in downtown Silver Spring. They have like a big like open space, right?
I went to an event there,
and that could be an ideal space, and they would love to. I'm sure they would love to donate, the space, but you gotta have that nonprofit space.
Right?
And I would even say, think of doing stuff like 5Ks. Like people love 5Ks.
I have people pull up for them too.
People pull up for them.
The turkey runs,
come on now.
My job just had a turkey run, and I was like, "What?"
Registration. You get a T-shirt at the end, and you get a little medallion that says, "Congratulations, you ran 3.2 miles."
Good job.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Guys. And then you get people to donate, right? Like if you have artists, they get to donate, and then you raffle it off, right? So you raffle off a painting. You go to Walmart, you ask them for a TV. You raffle off the TV. You go to Best Buy. You say, "Can I get a camera or can I get a microphone?" Or you go and you say, "Hey, look, here's a tripod because here's a ring light." You know what I'm saying? And you get those donated, and then you just raffle them off and just let people pay for them and stuff like that. We did a lot of that in Pennsylvania when I was there, but yeah. So just some ideas, Just
see, and that's a big part of the support too, where ideas just come to us, and like we can come up with this. It's almost a limitation between two people. And so when the community comes in and they're like, well, what about this? What about that? Or tell us what you need, what you want. Yes. Like, what does the community want? What do the poets want and need?
Okay.
How do we build that for you all? Because this platform is for the poets.
It's for the poets and the artists. Absolutely. Yes. So as far as sponsorships, what level sponsorships do you guys have right now?
3 levels right now.
Yeah, we have 3
levels
for 2022.
2023. Or is this 2022?
2022. For the award show we just had.
Yeah, it was 3 levels.
We had Haiku, Sonnet, and Villanelle.
For the sponsorship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gave them like poetry names. Packages. Yeah.
I was like, wait, I was thinking like bronze, silver, gold, platinum.
You're like, okay, poems.
I was like, wait, you can sponsor poems? Like what? Yeah. So, so they can find more information on
website.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or just email us
or just email us. Okay. Well, so for the people who are going to listen to the audio, what's the email address?
info@dmvrenaissanceawards.com. That is info@dmvrenaissanceawards.com.
I love it. And what's the website?
dmvrenaissanceawards.com.
DMV.
Pull up.
It's hello. And what's the social media?
At DMV Renaissance Awards.
Come on, consistency.
Across the board branding.
Come on, across the board. I love it. So what's the big picture idea for, what's the Grada idea, right?
Oh, the Grada idea.
Only because she said that she the one that got to pull you back a little bit, right? But no, what's the big picture idea for the DMV Renaissance Awards? Like, where do you guys want to take this?
I'm going to let Crystal go first because she has.
So we would like to take it further than just the DMV.
Okay.
There's poets all over. If we can have a Grammy
for poetry,
like Grammy like status awards for poets, spoken word artists. That is the vision.
Mm-hmm. That's the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
People really do ask for what they want too, because after the last show, we had someone in New Jersey say, "Oh, we need something like this in Jersey," and so that got my wheels turning with like, how do we go into other spaces and say, let's collaborate, let's help you. We've already done this. Mm-hmm. Let's help you build out your own, because they know the poets. They know what open mics are happening. We don't. And so I think getting national recognition for blank Renaissance Awards, like what city is it? LA, Los Angeles Renaissance Awards. Like, it's a demographic everywhere.
Oh, so you got like a bunch of sister companies.
That's what I'm seeing, because people want it in other areas. Absolutely. Even somebody in Japan said something about, we need something like this.
Real?
I'm like,
we've had when we would do our open mics on IG, we had someone from Australia perform.
Yeah,
really?
we had
I don't
Hawaii,
know how that. I was
London.
like, well, how did you hear about us in Australia? I don't know, but they did, and they performed and they follow.
Yep.
So
I love it.
Shout out to Australia.
It's international. International.
I love it. So different cities, major cities, different states, and stuff like that, having their own Renaissance Awards is kind of where you guys want to take it. So what is something that you all learned that you was not expecting to learn along this journey?
I will also say, Kennedy Center, if you would ever like to sponsor the DMV Renaissance Awards, I'm gonna put that out there.
Listen,
that clip and we gonna cut it.
That is something that we want.
We need everybody to tag.
That is what we want.
We just gonna run up the tag. You do like
run it up.
Yes, we've talked about that. Kennedy Center as well as
and
PBS.
Yes, Crystal wants broadcasting.
Yes,
put us on the TV.
Okay. I got some TV. You know, I got a plug with Roland Martin.
Okay.
TV One.
Yeah, I got a plug with Roland Martin. I know some people, yo.
And,
some people,
all right.
And they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Listen,
okay.
Just
put it out there, guys.
You know what I'm saying? Just put it out there. We're gonna tag TV One. We're gonna tag PBS, and we're gonna tag the Kennedy Center, yo.
Absolutely.
We're gonna tag the Fillmore too, because
yes,
can definitely.
I
do
love
it
the
at Fillmore. We're gonna tag this Silver Spring Civic Center. We're gonna
Howard.
Oh wait, hold on.
Howard
Theater.
Are they still here?
Another shout out to a radio station that helped us out tremendously. I can remember sending out emails to countless platforms and getting no response at all. So it's like, if you knock on 10 doors, maybe one's gonna open. So shout out to WHUR for reading our email and saying, this is circulating and we're gonna let you know and we're gonna contact you for interviews. So shout out to WHUR for that.
Wow.
Yes.
And they were so responsive.
Yeah.
We thought it was fake. Like,
I'm like, what? Is this real? Is this real? Yes, it was. So shout out to
96.3
Yes.
You are right here in the DMV. That is absolutely huge. So one thing that you all learned that you were not expecting to learn along this journey.
I would say, I think I learned more about myself.
Okay.
As a businesswoman. Like, I learned the lengths I'm willing to go for the mission, for the vision. Like, leading up to the award show, I don't know what was going on. I just knew things had to be done, and I was just pushing it out, like, so productive, so focused.
Yeah.
Very kind of like anal OCD about like the details. Like, Crystal will tell you, I was just so obsessive, and like I couldn't be everywhere during the event. Learning that I'm a little bit of a control freak, that has come up, and I'm like, oh shoot, like, how do I scale back and let people let volunteers do their part, let like pull in the help and let it just be help. Like, don't hover, don't like make sure things that just trust. And I like, my aunt did the decor and everybody commented on that, like trusting my aunt's vision.
Right.
And she would be like, what do you think? I'm like, Auntie, that's you, baby. Like,
can you shout out her company?
Because, yes, Healing Designs, but she also is not accepting clients at the moment. But if you would like to know more, reach out. Yeah, my aunt is so dope with it. She's been doing family events for years, and they have been top tier. They've been cookouts. She just, putting
a little bit of on it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when do you guys have a date already planned for 2023? I know September.
No.
We're not going to even lie to y'all like that.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Are you all looking to do it at the same venue that you did, which is a nice venue, and I would definitely hope that they can open it up in terms of capacity and stuff like that more, because I think that will bring more people definitely want to attend for sure.
Man, Creative Suitland.
Shout out to Creative Suitland.
Our probably biggest partner in this.
Yes.
Just helping us with the behind the scenes, the setting up, the taking, like stuff that they didn't have to help us with. Shout out to Rena.
They were amazing.
Rena was right there next to me. And so, yeah. I honestly think we'll probably look for a new venue just to like keep the momentum and like not necessarily to grow, but to just, see what else is out there.
Yes.
Continue building partnerships and do different events with Creative Suitland. Like maintain that relationship, because I want to bring more visibility to Suitland.
Absolutely.
Like that's the DMV, like the metro right across the street. Like that's us.
Literally. So, I'm sorry, did you, or are you agreeing?
Yes,
yes. Gotcha. All right. So what's next for the DMV Renaissance, and then what can we look forward to before? Because I think you said you all had a community event coming out, something like that.
Yes, Sunday, December 18th. Okay. It's going to be a food, clothing, and toy drive. Yep. Okay. At McPherson Square Park. Okay. From 12 to 2 p.m.
Gotcha.
So the partnership is, who's actually putting this together was our first year winner of author, Jonathan.
Jonathan Harris.
Yes. Okay. He. This is something that he does, and he included us this year. He wanted to add poetry to it, like have poets perform in the park. Yeah. While giving out food and clothing and toys and just, helping out in the community. Yeah. So we recently posted in our story who would be interested. So we have more details coming soon to who would ever be interested and want to come and volunteer or perform and things like that. Okay. Yeah, so on the lookout for that for December the 18th.
On the lookout for that.
Yeah. Also, podcasts. That's in the making.
In the works.
Gotcha.
Renaissance Conversations.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea came from...
We just needed something else.
Y'all were doing it on Instagram Live, and I absolutely loved it.
So that came from an open mic that we were doing online. Harvey was performing, and I don't know if y'all know anything about Harvey, but haiku, author, all that.
Yeah.
But once you get to talking to Harvey, we can have a conversation all night. So I was telling Grada, I was like, oh, this would be a dope idea if we can have like conversations with artists. So we were thinking of names or whatever. And I pull out some few names, and I was like, what do you think about Renaissance Conversations? And she was like, no, I love that. We can do that.
Let's do it.
So I was like, okay. And then we started it on IG.
Right. Yeah.
And we've had like ideas, from our mentors. Shout out to Christoph from Poet Life, who
he be pulling up.
Said like, oh, won't you guys do this like podcast style?
Absolutely.
And even you've said that. You've said that to us.
We are the media.
Yeah.
And so Grada also had pitched it to me, and I was like, yeah, that I do want to do podcast style where we're sitting down with the artists and having a conversation about their artist journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I absolutely love that. And we need more of it. There's more stories to tell. There's more audiences, more people to listen to these stories. And we, like Grada said, we are the media, and we are the new talk show hosts, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is like...
Don't wait to get on TV.
Yeah,
do it now.
Don't wait to get on the TV. Go get on YouTube, and YouTube will pay you handsomely.
Okay?
They will pay you handsomely.
Just do your part. Keep coming back.
It works if you do. Come on, y'all. Keep coming back. It works if you do.
There you go.
All right, so closing out, what are some final words that you can give to artists, not just poets, but just artists in general, in terms of their artist journey, I'll start with Crystal.
Oh. Words for artists during their artist journey.
Mm-hmm.
It may feel like at times, what am I doing this for? Does anybody see me? Does anybody recognize me? Like, what does this mean? What is it for? If you're feeling like that and you're feeling like maybe you're not being seen or you're not being heard, trust me, you are.
Mm-hmm.
You are. Even if it's one person, you did what you were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So stick with it. Keep believing in yourself. And just keep doing what you're doing. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, I love it.
I could dig it.
Ms. Grada?
My advice is more so about being an artist and being in business, because at the end of the day, we don't want to waste our creativity on jobs that are not what we're supposed to be doing. Our mission, our vision, our purpose, like we're here for a limited amount of time. So I would say find the balance in business and art. Charge your worth. Be willing to say no. It's hard, but you might have to turn down $5 to get $500. Be willing to say no. Be intentional with your time. Be disciplined with creating. I'm telling y'all, but I'm also telling me, just don't feel judged, because I don't make enough time for my art, and that's the challenge I'm dealing with now. Like, that's where I started. That's my roots. Why am I not doing that? And so also be willing to experiment with other creativity. When you can't write, maybe you can paint. When you can't paint, maybe you can skate. Like, be willing to experiment with your creativity, because it'll all go into the mission and to your unique expression on earth while you're here.
I love it. I love it. There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the DMV Renaissance Awards. We are so thankful for you all. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Right now, you've been here this whole entire time. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all also follow the DMV Renaissance Award on all platforms. Y'all got a mailing list on the website. Okay.
Leave your email.
Sign up for the mailing list so that you all can stay abreast to what they have going on. If you would like to donate, you can also find that on the DMV Renaissance Awards.com or .org.
.com.
So DMV Renaissance Awards with an S.com.
Yes.
You can donate there. You can become a sponsor. Listen, they need us, right? They need the community to continue to push them forward and continue to light fire to this brilliant idea that this group was able to come up with. We are so thankful. We are so grateful. Y'all know the motto here, man. Always stay in your bag, so you never got to chase a bag. And we out.
Period.
Thank y'all.